Some of the most guarded secrets surrounding Princess Diana have been kept tightly under wraps by the royal family, especially by King Charles and Queen Camilla, due to the potential damage they could cause to their image and legacy. While Diana's openness about her struggles with mental health became a beacon of hope for many, the depth of her suffering behind palace walls was far more profound than the public ever realised. At the time, discussing mental health in royal circles was seen as a sign of weakness. Any admission of emotional vulnerability was heavily frowned upon. Diana's candid revelations, especially in her infamous interviews, where she spoke openly about her battles with bulimia, depression and self-harm, left the monarchy reeling. Yet, there were deeper layers to her story that never made it into the headlines. Some insiders suggest that her cries for help were often met with cold indifference from certain members of the royal family, including Charles, who was more preoccupied with his public duties and relationship with Camilla. This indifference only deepened Diana's isolation and widened the already growing rift between her and the monarchy. For the royal family, Diana's struggles were not seen as an institutional failing, but rather as a personal one. The monarchy simply lacked both the tools and the willingness to address something as complex as mental illness, as one former royal aide recounted. After her separation from Charles, Diana was linked with several men. However, the public never knew the depth of her feelings for a man she privately referred to as her true love. Contrary to public speculation, this man was not the well-known figures like Dodi Fayed, but someone who remained hidden from the press. Love letters, discovered after her tragic death, were said to be so intimate and personal that the royal family took great care to ensure they were never made public. It's believed that King Charles himself, concerned about the potential fallout, played a role in keeping this romance a secret to protect the royal image. Sources close to the palace have long hinted that this relationship posed a real threat to the monarchy's carefully curated narrative, especially as it painted a stark contrast between Diana's pursuit of genuine love and the cold, arranged nature of her marriage to Charles. Queen Camilla, too, reportedly feared how the public might react if these letters ever came to light, worrying that they would overshadow her own hard-fought acceptance into the royal fold. These letters, revealing a woman who had emotionally moved far beyond the royal confines, show an independent and passionate Diana who wasn't afraid to challenge the monarchy's image of her. One of the most shocking secrets involves Diana's reported plans to leave the UK entirely and start a new life in the United States. Many close to her revealed that she had been seriously considering a move across the Atlantic, hoping to escape the relentless scrutiny of the British press and the suffocating expectations of royal life. This wasn't just a casual thought. Diana was making concrete plans. She had been looking at properties in California and even considering how to bring her sons, William and Harry, along for extended stays. However, this move was perceived as a direct threat to the monarchy, especially for Charles, who was already struggling with his public image after their divorce. Had Diana successfully relocated, it could have significantly diminished the royal family's global relevance. While Charles focused on his duties and his relationship with Camilla, Diana was preparing for a bold and complete breakaway that could have forever changed the dynamics within the monarchy. Some insiders suggest that these plans contributed to the intense tension during Diana's final months, as they were perceived as undermining the monarchy's control over her. Another dramatic revelation during Diana's later years was her growing belief that she was being watched by members of the royal family. In several personal accounts, Diana expressed suspicions that her private phone calls and meetings were being monitored. Part of what she believed was a broader effort to control her narrative and undermine her independence. Diana famously wrote a note to her butler, Paul Burrell, saying she feared for her life, alleging that certain royal family members wanted her out of the way. While some dismissed these fears as paranoia, others believe that Diana's suspicions weren't entirely unfounded. In the years leading up to her tragic death, she became increasingly outspoken about her belief that she was being silenced. Both King Charles and Queen Camilla were reportedly concerned about how these allegations might tarnish their standing, especially as Camilla continued to struggle with public acceptance. The fear that Diana's accusations could reopen old wounds and reignite public sympathy for her haunted the royal household for years after her death. Behind the scenes, Diana played a pivotal role in shaping her sons, William and Harry, with values that sometimes clashed with the more traditional expectations of the royal family. She instilled in them a sense of duty to the people, not just to the institution. This ethos has guided many of their actions as adults. What the public doesn't fully grasp is how much this influence troubled the royal establishment, particularly Charles and Camilla, who had a more conventional view of royal responsibility. Diana was determined to raise her sons differently, making it clear that she wanted them to have a more modern and compassionate approach to their roles. This dynamic became especially visible in Harry's later decisions to step back from royal duties, as well as in William's more hands-on approach with his family and charitable work. Some believe that if Diana were still alive, she would have played a crucial role in guiding her sons through the tumultuous changes within the monarchy, possibly even challenging Charles and Camilla's leadership along the way. As this story comes to a close, it's important to focus on the lasting impact of Diana's secrets. These revelations not only shaped how we view her today, but continue to influence the royal family and their standing in the modern world. Diana's legacy as a compassionate, complex figure has endured, despite the best efforts of some to protect the royal family's image. The documentary ends with archival footage of Diana, juxtaposed with more recent images of King Charles and Queen Camilla, hinting that her shadow still looms large over the monarchy today. As the screen fades to black, viewers are left with one final thought. What if these secrets had been exposed during her lifetime? Would the monarchy, as we know it, have survived?